This is Optimal Startup Daily, episode 222, How to Turn Journal Ramblings into Viral Articles by Benjamin Hardy of benjaminhardy.com. And I am your host and narrator, Dan. Welcome back and a happy Monday to you. And I always have to stop myself from saying, hope your work week is off to a great start on these Monday posts, because if you're listening to this, you might just be an entrepreneur or self-employed. After all, I'm actually recording this on a Sunday morning. Anyway, this is where we put the best blog posts that we can find from our terrific authors on entrepreneurship and business into podcast form for you 7 days a week. And before we get to today's post, I want to thank BKA Content for sponsoring this episode. As you know, first impression is important in the business world, and having a functional website helps establish a great first impression. However, creating a consistent content calendar and constantly publishing new content is a tedious task. So what can you do to impress your audience and increase your brand awareness? This is where BKA Content comes in. BKA Content is a content writing agency with 10 plus years of experience that does all the heavy lifting for you. They'll take over the responsibility of doing keyword research, brainstorming relevant topics, and writing the content for you. To make it work for you, they offer different size packages depending on the volume of content you need. Now, you can just focus on your strengths in other areas and have your blog posts delivered directly to your inbox, fully ready to be published, and watch your web traffic grow. If you need help with content writing, go to bkacontent.com/OSD to learn more and get your free month of blogs. That's bkacontent.com/OSD to learn more and get your free month of blogs. And with that, let's get right to today's post as we optimize your life. How to Turn Journal Ramblings into Viral Articles by Benjamin Hardy of benjaminhardy.com. I've been journaling for the past 9 years, and I've written about the several reasons journaling has changed my life. People often ask me how I journal, wanting my specific methodology. The problem is, I don't have much of a methodology. I just write stuff down in a very disorganized fashion. I carry one journal at a time, fill it out, then grab another. I don't use separate journals for goals, school notes, writing ideas, and recording my history. It all goes in the same notebook, only organized by the date I was writing. For example, an image in this post shows some random thoughts I was thinking, followed by a list of potential articles, including this one that I might write in the near future. Not exactly sure why I went from writing about an idea to creating a list of potential articles. The mind is a complex thing. My journal is just my way of capturing my messy thoughts, which then allows me to translate them into a more neat and tidy reality. Here are a few staples in my methodology. 1. I write in my journal every morning, usually 10 to 30 minutes. 2. I mostly write about my goals, my ideas, and what's going on in my life. For example, this week my wife and I went to court related to being foster parents. I've recently launched an online course, and I'm thinking a lot about how to make it great. I'm trying to be more spiritual. I'm trying to get my schedule better so I can spend more time with my kids. These are things I've journaled about this week. And 3, I often write in my car while parked right before I go into the gym. If I'm at a desk, I'll usually plug in some headphones and listen to a classical Pandora station or a particular song on repeat. The primary benefits that I get out of journaling. 1. Journaling is how I mentally create my future. I write about my dreams and goals. I'm a believer that you have huge control over your future. I create my own future through my journal entries. I do this by writing my big picture goals down regularly, my yearly goals nearly daily, and my most proximate goals, my daily and weekly to-dos, daily. 2. My mind wanders too many places when I'm just pondering or thinking. The act of writing with pen and paper allows me to organize, direct, and structure my thinking. Also, writing with pen and pad is inherently slower than the speed of thought, which allows my mind more time to go deeper and wider with my thoughts. And 3, clarity and emotional regulation. When life gets foggy or stressful, journaling is my favorite therapy session. Firstly, it helps me get perspective. It helps me organize my cluttered mind. It helps me vent out all of my frustrations, feelings, and confusions. It gives me space. From journaling to articles. With that backdrop, the remainder of this article details how I use my journal to organize the thinking that becomes my articles. To be clear, not every article I write begins in my journal. Sometimes I'll just get a thought, log into Medium, write it, reread it, and push publish. But more often than not, before I start typing, I pull open my journal and try to organize the ideas. Once the ideas are organized, I start the article by typing the title and subheadings, including conclusion. I then write the intro and fill in the spaces. This organization saves loads of time. In his book Essentialism, Greg McKeown explains that spending 5 minutes creating outlines can save you hours when writing a book or an article, or when going through your day. Before you write a book, write an outline of all the chapters. Before you write an article, write a few bullets about the main ideas, then just fill in those bullets. When writing in my journal about ideas related to an article, I'm not just dumping thoughts. I'm critically thinking about the structure, flow, and organization of my ideas. Bullet points allow me to think in terms of each succeeding step in the idea I'm trying to convey. So when I'm using my journal to organize my thinking about an article I want to write, I try to keep my thinking tightly focused on the subjects related to the article. It's not just random thinking. Sometimes only 2 to 5 minutes and a few bullets is enough to capture all I need to have the confidence to write the article. Sometimes it takes several pages. This is very important to me. I don't write an article until I'm feeling it. I need to feel fire about what I'm saying because I'm trying to light that same fire in my readers. Until I feel that fire, I don't hit publish. My journaling is how I get down into my emotions of what I'm trying to say. It's where I get pumped up and excited, and where the structure of my ideas takes form. Other tips. I'm a huge advocate of writing in the morning. Science clearly shows that the brain is most readily creative immediately following sleep. Your subconscious never sleeps and is always engaged in figuring out your problems and making key connections. As Thomas Edison said, quote, "Never go to sleep without a request to your subconscious," end quote. The problem for most people, though, is that they don't have an evening routine to set themselves up for success the next morning. Without a plan, people wake up and reactively check their smartphones. This reactive living is demonstrated throughout their entire day. Your evening routine doesn't have to be extensive. Just take a minute or two to, in the least, think about what you're going to do the next morning. You're better off, though, spending a minute writing down what you're going to do the next day, followed by a few minutes of visualizing and thinking. Then, when you go to bed, you've directed the workings of your subconscious mind. By spending just a few minutes preparing yourself for your next morning, you'll wake up with more purpose and enthusiasm. You'll be pulled out of bed rather than having to use willpower to push yourself to action. Conclusion. Here's why the journal is cool. When you're working directly on a task, your mind is tightly focused on the problem at hand. Conversely, when you're not working, your mind loosely wanders. While wandering, you're able to make much wider connections. As your mind is traveling both contextually on different subjects and temporally between past, present, and future, your brain will make distant and distinct connections related to the problem you're trying to solve. Eureka! The journal is a powerful way to leverage both of these thinking patterns. You can focus directly on something, like an article you're writing, or you can let your mind wander. After dumping your thoughts, you can step away for a while and your mind will continue to mull over what you were just writing about, allowing you even more insights. As you get insights away from your journal, you write about those insights during your next session, which escalates and deepens the ideas. It's an epic process and virtuous cycle. It's also relaxing and enjoyable. You just listened to the post titled How to Turn Journal Ramblings into Viral Articles by Benjamin Hardy of benjaminhardy.com. I'll tell you about Benjamin in just a minute, but first I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this episode. The online learning community is offering our listeners a free trial of premium membership. And let me tell you, there are so many fascinating classes on Skillshare on topics including freelance and entrepreneurship, perfect for you as a listener of this show, as well as creative writing, productivity, illustration, design, marketing, and more. As a freelancer myself, I recently took a Skillshare class called Pricing Your Work, How to Value Your Work as a Freelancer, and I walked away learning pricing strategies I never thought to implement. You might like that one too, or one of the many other amazing classes on Skillshare. Reaching a goal is achievable with short lessons, hands-on projects, and classes designed for real life. Do something today you couldn't do yesterday. Their short classes are a perfect fit for your busy routine. You'll create real projects and get the support of fellow creatives so you can accomplish real growth. Explore your creativity at Skillshare.com/OSD and get a free trial of premium membership. That's Skillshare.com/OSD for a free trial of premium membership. And thank you to Benjamin, who is an organizational psychologist and best-selling author of Willpower Doesn't Work and Personality Isn't Permanent. His blogs have been read by over 100 million people and are featured on Harvard Business Review, New York Times, Forbes, Fortune, CNBC, and many others. He's a regular contributor to Inc. and Psychology Today, and from 2015 to 2018, he was the #1 writer in the world on Medium.com. He and his wife, Lauren, adopted 3 children through the foster system in February 2018, and 1 month later, Lauren became pregnant with twins who were born in December of 2018, and the family lives in Orlando. You can come by benjaminhardy.com for more, and thanks again to Benjamin for letting us share his work today. All right, that's going to do it for our Monday post. I thank you as always for listening and for clicking subscribe or follow or whatever it is on your podcast app. Hope you have a great start to your week, and I'll be back with you tomorrow. That's where I'm going to have a post from Chris Guillebeau. So I'll see you there, where your optimal life awaits.